Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Ghostrunner 2 walkthrough and this is mission 7 called A Price to be Paid. And we are supposed to chase down Mitra. Mitra is the main antagonist of this game. And in this level we are introduced to an entirely new enemy called Scorchman. And Scorchmans are quite interesting because they are one of two enemies that can kill other enemies by default. And here we have one right on cue, coming in from the left. Scorchmans have those giant laser rifles. And they will cut you in half, and they will cut anything and everything in half. By the way, when you turn that corner, it's very important that you dash, or else you will run a great risk of being hit either by the key or by the Scorchman. Here you want to move back so he sweeps across with his laser rifle and then we can move past. Because the thing with these Scorchmen, they are very slow to turn. And you can easily jump over their laser beams, and the fact that they can kill other enemies. I said there is only one other enemy in this entire game that can do that. And the fact that Scorchmen can kill others, even without you using like the Overlord ability on them, is something we can use to our advantage, and we will. Because sometimes it's good to let the enemies do the grunt work for you. And I think it's quite a fun challenge to see, because there is a room coming up where I'm gonna use that a little bit, at least kill one enemy. And I submit a challenge to you, dear viewer. And I'm gonna talk about it when we get into that room. All we're gonna do up here is pick up that memory shard, and then we can head into the next room. So just jump on the booster pad. Yes, going into this room, there's two Scorchmen, one over there and one over to my right. My challenge to you, dear viewer, see how many of these enemies can you make the Scorchman kill. I think there is a total of 4 melees and 1 hammer. Because you see over to the left, one of the Scorchmen was cut in half. That was due to this guy. So how many enemies can you make the Scorchman kill for you? That is my challenge to you, dear viewer, and please write down in the comments how many you were able to make them take out. And now we are heading into another boss fight. This is a boss fight called Hostiles, and it counts as a boss fight. I would not personally count this as a boss fight, but the game does, so therefore I do it as well. Here we are supposed to take out waves of enemies, and I would say this is actually the easiest boss fight in the entire game, because you can, if you approach this smartly. I like to start off as you saw over on the left, take out the chook and the key over there, head over here to the right side, always staying back in this room, and take out the chook and the trigger over on the right side, and we head back to the left, up in the top left corner. Because the enemy's focus is against this wall. I think it is that they are, so to speak, attacking the climbers. You cannot, there is no time limit doing this. So take this as slow as you want to. You cannot suffer any penalties for being too slow. But the fact that their attention is drawn that way makes this a lot easier than it probably would otherwise be. And since we always move up from behind, most of the time you can take out enemies without they even have a chance of realizing that you're there. And now that we've taken out the first wave, some reinforcements will arrive. And this room changes as you go through more waves. They will put up laser walls and stuff like that. But we are going to employ the same strategy as we did for the first wave. So we move back to the back end. As you can see, everyone's attention is focused on that interface wall, as it says up in the description up on the right. So we're gonna just slowly work our way up again. So we go down here, we take out the hammer and these two melees. By the way, that is something worth mentioning, that I probably should have mentioned before if you haven't figured this out already. Just run by that hammer, let the Scorchman take him out. When you throw shurikens at enemies, when you're gonna throw them at a trigger or a key, anything above a melee, make sure to be in bullet time when you throw it. Because melee enemies, they will just stand there. I think that's why they gave those dudes nightsticks, because they realized that these guys, they are cannon fodder, they are stupid. They will see that jagged death coming towards them and just face tank it. But keys or triggers will dodge out of the way if you are not using bullet time, not using your artificial senses when you throw it. If you are in slow-mo when you throw it, they will have no chance of dodging it. And also I like that the shurikens, they track a little bit. You can install a modifier which makes them track quite a lot. Feel free to install that if you want to make it a little bit easier for yourself. That is perfectly fine to do so. I didn't do it because I think they track quite well even without adding extra to it, but no judgment from me. When I do these walkthroughs, I always try to make them... I use a bare minimum because I want to use strategies that allow for people to beat the game even without a lot of fancy things. Just quick note. Sometimes when running through this room, one of the chooks will suddenly turn their attention towards you and shoot, like you saw there. And you gotta admit, it was pretty clutch jumping over the Scorchman's laser and the chook shot. I had no idea that was coming. But one thing, if you listen to the conversation, Kira, when you reach like the last wave of enemies, she has hacked the platform, so you see those blue triggers show up. And that makes the last part of this fight super easy. Because as you saw, if you throw a shuriken at one of those triggers, what will happen is that will electrify the platform and kill every enemy that's standing on it. Like you will see right here. I move up, I throw a shuriken, it saps the platform and everyone dies. So with this last wave, you can just hang back and wait for your energy bar to go up. Make sure you're in throwing distance so you don't waste a shuriken like I do, or like I did. So I'm gonna have to wait for my energy bar to go back up, which is a bit sad. Now in retrospect, watching this, I feel maybe I should have edited that out, trimmed out the waiting. But it also shows that as long as you stay back from the enemies, don't get too close, and they will not put any of their attention on you. Now you see there is a trigger up on the middle platform on the right side. He will despawn when I throw a shuriken at this, as soon as my meter goes up so I can throw one. Come on. There we go. So that is the end of the Hostiles boss. Super easy. Always stay back and take it calm and slowly, and you will have no problems at all. But I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.